At some point, you will feel that a user account is not enough to let you control, for example, the privileges that different people have to control the settings of your repositories. When that is the case, then you should be probably thinking of using GitHub organizations. They are almost identical to user accounts, and they are very easy to create. In the same plus button where you will find the links to create new repositories, you can also create new organizations. You will be presented with a page like this one, where you can choose just the name of the organization and an email address. I recommend, if you do have an email address that ends in .edu, I recommend you to use it, because whenever you want to ask for free, unlimited private repositories, with that kind of account is going to be very easy, almost automatic. I'm going to share with you some links to request this privilege. Otherwise, you need to pay for private repositories. But if you have a .edu account, it's going to be free for you. So for now, in this example, I'm showing how I'm creating a GitHub organization for free, and that particular kind of organization does not come with private repos. All the repos are public. So let's move on to the second slide to show that, well, once you create your organization, you will be able to invite members. Members are not a feature that is available for user accounts. You can invite collaborators to a user account, but you cannot have members of your user account. The only member is yourself as an owner. In an organization, there can be many owners. So you can invite anyone that you want to give them some privileges over that account, and then you will be able to choose if you want to them to become owners, and that means that they have rights over the organization to basically do anything that you could do as the one who created it, or if you want to give them a member privilege, which means that they can do a lot of things, but not all. Once you send the invitation, they will get an email from GitHub. They can accept the invitation, and then they will, have the privileges that you decided them to have. And then once you start, having many members in your organization, you may need to create some teams, because you will notice that there are groups of people with related interests, or they are working in similar projects, but others do other things with lots of overlap. So, well, you can create teams. There is a tab called Teams, where you give a name to the team, a little description, and then you can decide if the team is going to be like public. Anyone can see that team and who they are, or not. That's up to you. One of the interesting things about creating teams is that then any person can in your organization, any member of your organization, can choose to be a public or a private member. In this particular example, for example, Mauro Lepore, which is myself, I chose to be a public member of this organization that is called RADM, for our admins. I am the owner, and I am part of one team. And here in this wheel, you can choose to change the privileges of this person. You can manage them, the privileges in a number of ways, or you can just convert that person, that member, no more to a member, but to an outside collaborator, which is a case similar to the case when you are, what we were talking about, user accounts, and you invited a collaborator to that account with no access to the settings of that user account. Or you can also remove them completely from the organization. In this example, this other account is chose to be privately displayed, It is a member, it's not an owner. It does not belong to any team. So one of the nice features of organizations and creating teams is that then you can mention the entire team. So if there is not 50 people in one team, you no longer need to mention one by one, as you could do, say, if you were sending, if you were communicating with them by email, for example. Instead, you can just mention the entire team. So in this case, you say at the name of the organization / and the name of the team, and everyone in that team is going to get the notification. And one feature that I didn't mention before, I just, it's not connected with the idea of organizations. It's always available to you, but it's worthwhile noticing is that these emoticons here are one useful way of communicating with others. Sometimes I tend not to use a lot of emoticons, but sometimes you just need from people, you need to their vote about something. With thumbs up, that's enough. They don't need to write anything there, or they just can say, I like what you said, and at least you knew that they read the message and they're aware of that. With that, I would like to show you how to create. What I show you on slides. Let's just do it to demonstrate how all this works. So let's go to GitHub. I'm going to my user account. From there, I'm going to create a new organization here. I can give it a name, my cool org, a little, my email here is I'm going to use this Smithsonian one, and here I'm missing an M. I'm going to choose the free plan, and I'm going to just create the organization. At the very beginning, I'm presented with this field to start adding people here. So let's add, where's geo guest, which is one account, and invite that person there, and hit continue. With that, I can provide some other details about what my account is for. I'm going to say that it's for educational purposes. I need it just for a few days because this is a demo, and I think I'm going to have 5 or fewer people, and I submit. Okay, so that's all. I already have my organization. If I go to my profile here, you can see how there is a bunch of organizations I belong to, including this last one, which is my cool org that we just created. So let's go back to the slides. So before we finish, this is the last slide of the organizations section. I want to mention that for our organization, you can create, it's pretty useful to create an organization-wide page. And the way in which you do that is in the same way that you do it for a user account. So I'm not going to show you again how to do it, because we covered it before. But with this slide, let me just walk through this slide to just remember what we did. So to create an organization-wide account, you need to give it, to create a repository that has a very specific name. For the organization, for example, RADM, I need to create a repository that is called r/adm.github.io. Then I choose for which organization. So instead of I'm going to create that repo not in my user but in my organization. And when I create the repo, that is going to be the one that is at a higher level of hierarchy. And remember, then we go to pages and we choose the theme for the page, and And that's pretty much all you need to do. Then you can just directly edit the content. Okay, with that, we finished this section. Next, we're going to talk about how to connect GitHub and RStudio.